Derpy isn't politically correct?
Ready for anything?
Derp, 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 derp. Just the other day, the College Fix put out this article. Here's the latest word you're not allowed to say. Derpy. Okay, so you're not allowed to say derp, apparently. Tracking the long and growing list of words banned by the regressive left is becoming onerous, but we carry on. Here's the latest no-no. Derpy. How do we know? Because two scholars have just publicly apologized for using it, agreeing with a peer who called their use of it out as an ableist slur. Okay, so apparently if you go derp, you're making fun of differently able people? I don't think so. I mean, let's face it, folks, when we use the word derp, we're basically imitating what we think of as a very unintelligent person. Okay, I think we all know this to be true. When we go derp, we're not making fun of disabled people. We are simply making fun of stupidity. That's it. As the article says, the Urban Dictionary defines it as silly, ridiculous, awkward, or clumsy. But to social justice warriors who see microaggressions in every corner, it's an ableist slur. In other words, offensive to people with disabilities, they believe. The apology, published earlier this month, states in part, quote, "The word derpy was introduced to us as a pop cultural term that meant believing in something despite the fact that it has been disproven. A provocative notion, given that our aim was to suggest that while queer theory has effectively undone sexuality as a concept," actually, it has done nothing of this sort, but anyway, empirical research, even thoughtful feminist sexual science, persists as if the complexity of sexuality is ultimately mappable and as if the right set of variables will resolve in the epistemological differences of critical theory and neuroscience once and for all. Well, that's pretty fucking derpy right there. Look, people are all agreeing that the Emperor wears fabulous new clothes when we know he does not wear clothes. We know what's going on here. This is everybody agreeing under fear of ostracization, of losing their jobs, and etc., agreeing to all believe what they know is not true. These people are all agreeing, let's just throw away objective empirical research and agree to believe things that are not true for socio-political biased reasons. Discover magazine, in reporting on this issue, points out that while this is the first science-based derpy scandal, angst against this word has brewed for a while. In the 2012 The My Little Pony Friendship is Magic cartoon ran an episode featuring a klutzy character called Derpy. However, after worries that she appeared to be a stereotype of the mentally handicapped, the character was renamed and her voice re-recorded. A Change.org petition to save Derpy wasn't enough to prevent her derpification. So it looks official. Add Derpy to the crazy, insane, stupid, and all the other words the left have deemed verboten. Indeed. So there you go. The demands out of political correctness to change language will never ever be satisfied. It's a beast that the more you give, the more hungry it becomes. Notice the pattern of the far left, the regressive left, Antifa, No, BIMN, other social justice warriors, Black Lives Matter, so on and so on and so on. The more you give them, the more ground that you give, and this applies to Islam and Muslims too, the more ground that you give to their ideological demands to the extent that they make them, the more that you give into them, the more they demand. If you give them 1 step, they demand 2. If you give them 2 steps, they demand 4. If you give them 4, they demand 8, and so on. And notice that once they've gained all the ground that they want, or they run up against an opponent that they know they will not win against, they start turning on themselves. Because they can't help themselves. They always must fight. So they turn on themselves. So for example, in colleges that are the least racist, sexist places on earth, become hotbeds of people demanding that this institutionally racist and sexist institution change its far-right fascist Nazi ways and cave into their demands immediately. It's because they have the fight, okay? They have the desire to fight against enemies, and they don't actually have enemies to fight against, so they turn their allies into enemies to fight against them. Here's the thing, though. If you're going to ban derp for the reasons that they gave, okay, then why not duh? Or herder, or just sounds like Why not just ban offensive facial expressions? If somebody makes a face that says, "Durr," are you going to ban the facial expression? How about eye rolling? Are you going to ban... You know, I bet you these far-left politically correct people, I know for a fact that they would like to ban micro-expressions, which can't be done because they're partially unconscious, they're automatic. Even people on television trying to lie have micro-expressions that are involuntary. But these people would like to ban that, tones of voice, everything. We know because they have this doctrine of microaggressions, and microaggressions are a no-no. Microaggressions include things like the tone of your voice, and eye rolling, and facial expressions. They want to ban all of these things. I'm sorry, let me reword that. As long as it's challenging to their point of view, they want to ban the words or facial expressions or any microaggressions against their point of view. Microaggressions and indeed macroaggressions or anything else, you know, hitting people over the head with a bike lock, large-scale destruction of private property, all this is fine as long as it's against their ideological enemies. But so much as raise an eyebrow, literally, so much as raise an eyebrow and they'll get offended. My word, what's wrong with you people?
My God, what's wrong with you people? Fuck!
Derp! 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 Oh! Derp! Derp!
Oh, tell me folks, in a comment below, do you think this politically correct madness is gay? Don't! I mean, is it idiotic, imbecilic, retarded? Don't! Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm such a faggot. Don't! Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, Mohammed. Don't! I mean, Jesus Christ. Apparently that last one is okay. Anyway, tell me what you think.
Gay.